guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sarah and this is the Chubby Homesteader YouTube channel. Here we'll do a little bit of everything that has to do with like homesteading, different homemade recipes and stuff like that. Right now I am focusing for the next 90 days or almost 90 days on the carnivore diet. I've had a lot of gut health issues and things like that, so I'm going to do the carnivore diet as a way to kind of try and heal my gut. If you're interested in more about that, go look at one of my previous videos, like day 1 of the 90-day carnivore journey, something like that. Today's video is not really an update, it's more of like answers to some questions that I have been asked. I have been asked a lot of questions over the past 2 weeks since I started this. Different things like, what is the carnivore diet? How do you do the carnivore diet? I think I'm doing the carnivore diet, but I'm not sure. Is this correct? And how much butter are you actually going to eat? That's a lot of butter. So I've got like a whole hodgepodge of notes here, kind of going over a little bit of everything that has to do with some of the questions that I've been asked, and then some of the stuff that I just thought might be useful information that some people might not think about. So what is the carnivore diet? So the carnivore diet is an animal-based diet. It is, some people do just like the meat and salt. Some people do like meat, butter, and salt, or meat, eggs, and salt. Some people do meat, butter, eggs, and salt. Some people add a little bit of dairy. Some people add a little bit of like nuts and fruits to their diet. It depends on what you want to do. Some people will do like more of a carnivore diet where they are adding fruits and vegetables to their diet. But at the very basis of it, it's an animal-based diet, like little to no carb. Typically, carnivore is like 0 carb diet. That's what I have been doing. I have had a little bit of dairy off and on. I've had like a little tiny bit of yogurt. I had like a little glass of milk. I had sour cream a couple of times, just a little dollop on some chili, but that's pretty much it for me. Some like very strict carnivores will only have salt. They won't have any other seasonings. I allow myself to have some seasonings so long as there's no sugar or like anti-caking agents and things like that in it. I like the very clean, very clean seasonings. So that's the like basically what the carnivore diet is. How long can you do the carnivore diet? You can change your entire lifestyle and change your way of eating to adapt to the carnivore diet as you're like for the rest of your life, pretty much. There are doctors on YouTube, there are a ton of people on YouTube who have been doing, and not just on YouTube, but that's where like you see a lot of this stuff. But there are people everywhere who have done the carnivore diet before the carnivore diet was like in, but they did carnivore before it was cool. In the last like, I don't know, probably like the last 5 to 10 years, carnivore has kind of blown up and people have been all about that lifestyle now. But you look back 5, 10, even 15 or 20 years, and there have been people that have been doing this carnivore diet, this carnivore way of eating, and they've been doing it for, you know, for that long, up to like 20, I think there might even be somebody like 25 or 30 years that's been doing this, and it is a very sustainable way of eating. It is a life change for a lot of people because it has been able to heal some diseases, to heal sicknesses. It has allowed people to get off of certain medications, to help them to live a healthier life, basically, where they feel better and they're not taking nearly the amount of medication or any medication in some cases. So if you're going to try and start the carnivore diet, I very highly recommend committing at least 90 days to the carnivore diet. 30 and even 60 days is not really a long enough time to do this diet and to see the changes that most people are wanting to see, whether that's weight loss, better mental health, better sleep, just better overall feeling, if they're trying to get off of some kind of medication, if they're trying to heal a sickness. I am trying to lose weight, but that's more of like a side effect. I'm trying to heal my gut right now because if you go back and watch that previous video, whenever I eat, I tend to like, for a while, for some reason, I was like getting sick, like physically sick, vomiting up everything that I ate. That other video will go way more in depth to what all I'm doing on why I'm doing the carnivore diet. But people do the carnivore diet for all kinds of different reasons. So if you're going to try it, whether, like I said, again, whether it's for weight loss, for health, whatever it might be, I would commit 90 days at least to it, because that's when you're going to feel the most beneficial changes and everything. You're going to feel overall better. 30 days is honestly, it's just not enough. We consume so many toxins and so much bad food in general, as a whole, that your body has to get rid of all that, has to flush all of those toxins out. So 30 days is not really enough time. It's not really enough time like for any diet to feel the full effects of it. So commit to 90 days if you're going to do the carnivore diet. And I've had a lot of people ask me, well, isn't it hard? Don't you get tired of just eating meat? No. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Every once in a while I get a craving for something. Like if I'm sitting down eating, like, you know, a chicken breast or like a chicken leg quarter, and like, you know, my husband and my kids have like a big huge like pepperoni pizza with stuffed crust, yes, obviously then it's a little bit difficult, because like, who doesn't want pizza, right? But something that I have found, I came across this information in one of the videos that I watched here on YouTube. I don't remember who it was by, but something that he said in that, he said cravings are a hormonal change in your body. Cravings are all, they're typically from a hormonal shift or a hormonal change in your body. And typically these cravings are only going to last 30 to 45 minutes. So if you can get through that 30 to 45 minutes when you are craving something, you eat something that is carnivore friendly or ketovore friendly, whatever type of diet you're doing. Go on a walk, keep yourself busy, play a game, do something. Keep yourself busy, keep your mind off of whatever food it is that you're craving for those 30 to 45 minutes. And then once that craving has passed, you're going to be fine, and you're not going to be really craving that anymore. The other day I was really craving something sweet, which is weird for me because I normally don't eat a lot of sweets at all. And I was really craving, I'm like, I don't know why, but I'm like, I want to eat like a whole package of Oreos right now. Like, that is my innermost heart's desire. Like, that's what I want. So instead I walked on my treadmill for a little bit, and then I took a shower when I was done, and I got out of the shower, got dressed, and then I came out and I ate some pork rinds. And you know what? I didn't care if I had Oreos or not after that. So whether or not that is 100% true all of the time or for everybody, from my experience, if you can just keep busy for those 30 to 45 minutes, those cravings are going to pass. If you feel like the cravings are too strong and I have to have this thing that I'm craving right now, try to eat something else that is more friendly to the diet that you're trying to stick to. A lot of the times, from what I've noticed, I crave things more often. Like, I crave sugar and carbohydrates if I haven't had enough fat in my diet. The fat that you're eating in your diet is extremely important. So you can have things like, you can have, butter, all the butter that you want, pretty much. I will say, try to find like the grass-fed butter is better. I have found that is a little bit easier on your system, at least for me anyways. Like the raw butter, it's very hard to find here, but if you can find like non-pasteurized butter, that's going to be a better option, because that's raw butter and it has more of the nutrients and things that you want in it. If all you can find is pasteurized butter, then that's fine. It's just going to have the pasteurized cream and salt in it. Most of the butter that you find, like even at Walmart, most of the butter is going to be just pasteurized cream and salt, and that's fine. Ideal is like grass-fed, non-pasteurized, but if you can't find that, just get the regular butter. It's not going to kill you. I do eat a lot of butter. I am cutting back a little bit, and I'm trying to focus more on like animal fats. And the reason being is because butter, along with things like rendered fats, so that's like, you know, your grease from your hamburger, your ground beef, your hamburgers, grease from like hot grease from bacon and things like that, butter, heavy cream, those are concentrated fats. Those are fats that are basically, they're already broken down. And so when you eat those, your body has nothing to do with those. They don't need to break them down. If you eat a steak with a lot of fat on it, your body can break down that fat because it's in a solid form. So your body can break down that fat, and it gives it a chance to absorb some of the nutrients from that fat. If you are having things like hot melted fats, rendered fats, a lot of butter or a lot of heavy cream, your body doesn't have to break them down, and so that's just going to basically, your body's just going to let it run through, and that's where like a lot of the diarrhea and things come from. A lot of the upset stomach diarrhea, it's because your body doesn't have to do anything to those fats because they're already broken down. So it's just going to basically expel them, and you're going to have diarrhea, or at the very least, very loose stools. So try to stay away from like the hot rendered fats. If you want to eat butter, go with like the butter bites, the carnivore crack, I think it's called, the brown butter bites. It's a fantastic way to have your butter, because even though it's still a concentrated fat, it's adding a little bit, because those brown butter pieces, it's changing the composition of the butter, and so it's a little bit easier on your stomach sometimes. Some people have found, and that way you don't feel like you're just eating like a stick of butter. It kind of tastes like salty toffee or something. It's really, really good, the brown butter bites. There's that. If you need to get more fat in your diet, because unless you're buying like, ribeye all the time, it's hard to get like the natural animal fats in your diet. So what we have done is we have gotten like some of the briskets in the past, and we don't want all the fat on the brisket, so we've cut that fat cap off, or the fat cap off of like a pork roast, a pork shoulder, and we save that fat, and I'll just pull that out and I'll chop some pieces up and put a little bit of seasoning on it, and I'll fry them till like the edges are crispy and the inside's tender, and then I'll just add that fat to whatever I'm eating, like to whatever. Like I had a pork steak last night with crispy beef fat, and it was phenomenal. The beef fat trimmings, and I believe the pork fat trimmings also, you can go to your local butcher and ask them, or call them, or just stop by and ask them to save that for you. A lot of butchers don't keep it on hand, but if you call ahead of time and be like, hey, can you save these beef fat trimmings for me, they will, and usually it's quite a bit cheaper than than most of the other stuff. Like some people have said it's like $1 or $2 a pound. I know our local butcher charges like $5 a pound for the beef fat trimmings, so we usually just try to save all of our beef fat trimmings from like brisket or whatever we have on hand at the time. But doing it that way is a really, really great way to get fat into your diet, the natural animal fats. Egg yolks is another great way, because there's so much fat in egg yolks, like really good fat. There's also some protein in there. I like to do a lot of hollandaise sauce, mostly. Like I'll use a tiny little bit of lemon juice, but it's like a teaspoon of lemon juice is all. You can totally do it with water instead to keep it, strictly carnivore. But the hollandaise sauce is just egg yolks, and pretty much just egg yolks and butter and salt. And you can put that, like I've put it on top of eggs, I've put it on top of like steak and eggs before, I'll dip stuff in it, I put it with shrimp the one time. It's very, very good, and it is an excellent way to boost your fat content without feeling like you're drinking hamburger grease basically, or eating a stick of butter. So that's a really good way to boost your fat, but make sure that you are keeping that fat content pretty high. I try to keep my fat content like 75 to 80% of the calories that I eat per day. I try to make those 75 to 80% of those are coming from fat. 20 to 25% of those are coming from protein. The reason being is because protein will keep you full longer. Protein is where that very full feeling comes from, where you stay satiated for much, much longer. The fat is where your energy comes from. And if you are feeling like sluggish, if you're feeling really tired, kind of foggy, just not feeling super, super great, you probably need to eat more fat, boost your fat content. The carnivore coffee that has the butter and egg yolks in it is a super, like really, really quick way to do that if you're not feeling like eating something. Carnivore coffee, you can do like, if you're okay with having like a tea, you can do the same exact thing with tea, make it like a creamy tea latte type thing. And it's fantastic, and it helps to boost your fat content up for the day, and it can help you not feel so tired, so sluggish. If you are getting migraines, or if you're just not feeling super, super great, you most likely need to boost your electrolytes. A lot of people overlook electrolytes, or they'll go get like the prime drinks or whatever they are, or like Gatorade and things like that. There's so much garbage in those. There's so many additives and things like that are not good for your body, and there are very, very few actual electrolytes that your body needs. In my introductory video to the carnivore diet, I posted a link to a video with a recipe where you can make your own electrolytes, and it is phenomenal. My husband and I both use those electrolytes, and it has helped a lot. It can help keep away headaches and all of that. I've had one headache in the last 2 weeks, which is very, very rare for me. I normally have headaches all the time. I've had one really bad headache in the last 2 weeks, and that was because I didn't have like any electrolytes that day at all. I drank a cup of coffee, and it was a Sunday, so we were at church most of the day. I drank a cup of coffee, and then I didn't have any electrolytes that day until like the evening, and I was so like just incredibly lethargic, and my head hurt so bad. But as soon as I started drinking the electrolytes, that headache started going away, and I felt much, much better. So keep your electrolytes up. It's incredibly important. What about things like your vitamins and nutrients, the micronutrients and things like that you need, right? Because if you're not eating fruits and vegetables, how are you going to get any vitamins in your body? If you're just eating meat and eggs, you will still get plenty of vitamins and minerals and nutrients, all of those micronutrients and everything like that you need in your diet. You can get that from the carnivore diet. If you are concerned, like I can't get, I'm not eating oranges, I'm not getting my vitamin C, I'm not eating fruits, I'm not getting my vitamin C, I'm gonna get scurvy. Have animal organs. And I know like some people are like, ew, gross. The liver, pancreas, and spleen are all chock full of vitamins and nutrients. Specifically, they are very high in vitamin C. If you have a little bit of beef liver, like once or twice a week, you're gonna be fine. And that also helps like to keep your iron levels up and everything like that. So have some animal organs. If you can't eat the beef liver, then get like a beef liver supplement. Pork liver, and I didn't know this, I just found this out the other day. Pork liver actually has the highest amount of vitamin C, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the highest amount of overall vitamins is found in pork liver. The least amount is found in chicken livers, and I guess like a decent amount is found in beef livers. So if you want to have some animal livers, beef, pork, or chicken, go for the livers, and you'll be fine for all of your vitamins, for your nutrients, and everything like that. If you're going into the carnivore diet like very low on iron, very low on like vitamin D or any of these other vitamins, if you are like severely deficient, keep taking your vitamins. If your doctor has you on medication, consult with your doctor before you do this. You're most likely going to need to keep taking your medications at least for the beginning of it. So please don't just stop taking your medications. Please don't, if you have to be on vitamins, don't stop taking your vitamins when you first begin this. I am in no way a professional. I should have said this in the beginning. I am in no way a professional. I'm not a doctor. I am not giving out professional medical advice. This is just my experience and the research that I have done, the things that I have found. But if you have a doctor and you are on medication or you have to be on vitamins, please consult with your doctor before doing this, and don't just give up all of your medicine and vitamins and think this is going to fix everything to begin with. It can help you get off of medications. It can help you get off of all of the vitamins, but you have to be able to commit to it and do it for a little while. Allow your body to heal before you just stop taking all of that stuff. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. Okay, what about fiber, right? What about fiber? What about antioxidants? Don't you need any of that stuff, right? Well, we've already talked about vitamin C and the different vitamins and minerals and things like that your body needs. So a high carb diet where you're eating a lot of carbs, even if they're healthy carbs, you're eating, your healthy carbs, your oatmeal, your rice, your grains, your flours, even if it's like fresh milled flours and things like that. That raises it, all of that is going to turn to sugar. So your glucose levels are going to spike, your blood sugar is going to spike. And so your body on the inside you're going to have inflammation. Your body's going to have inflammation because all of this stuff is happening inside your body because of the food that you're eating. Again, even if you are eating a little bit healthier lifestyle, but you're still having a higher carb diet. A high carb diet is a very inflammatory diet. Not saying that it's the worst thing ever. I'm not saying that it's like if you eat carbohydrates, then you are just, that, you know, you're evil and you're going to die. But a high carb diet is a very inflammatory diet. A low carb diet, you got your carnivore diet, your ketovore diet, things like, you know, the Atkins and keto and all of that. It's a low carb diet. Those are very uninflammatory. And so when when your body is super inflamed, your glucose levels rise. When your glucose levels rise, that makes it harder for your body to absorb, and not just the vitamin C, but like any of the stuff, any of the nutrients. Same thing if you are having like, again, high carb is kind of high fiber. You know, if you're eating a ton of fruits and vegetables, a ton of carbohydrates, there's so much fiber in there, and fiber blocks nutrition from being absorbed into your body. So especially like if you're taking like fiber supplements, it's been preached for years, you know, you need fiber. If you have trouble going to the bathroom, you need fiber. That's not exactly true. There's a few videos that have been posted by a few doctors who have been carnivore for several years, and I will try to remember to post those in the description box below. It's very, very helpful. They go much more into depth with the fiber, the vitamins and minerals and all of that, the vitamin C, all of that kind of stuff that you need. But the gist of it is if you are eating a low carb diet, because it is an uninflammatory diet, then your body is able to, you're lower on fiber, you're lower on inflammation. It's much easier for your body to absorb all of the vitamins and nutrients, all of that nutrition that your body is getting. Because your body is not nearly as inflamed as it had been before, because you're healing your body. Something to keep in mind is that your bathroom habits will change. If you are eating, like we said before, if you're eating a lot of rendered fats, if you're eating a lot of that concentrated fat, like the hot burger grease, the bacon grease, a lot of butter, or especially melted butter, a lot of heavy cream, that can cause a lot of people to have like severe diarrhea. When you're doing strict carnivore, when you're not having cheat meals, and you're not having, even if you're not having like those rendered fats, your bathroom habits are going to change. You can go to the bath, you can end up pooping every maybe once a day, maybe once every other day, maybe once every 3 days. And that's perfectly fine. It's normal. The reason is because instead of your body just like running through all of this food and getting rid of all of this stuff and building up, large amounts of waste, your body is absorbing. If you eat like, a steak with eggs and some cold butter or something like that, or some other type of fat, your body is able to absorb like all of that nutrition. So you're going to have very, very little waste. You're not going to have this big, huge amount of waste going to the bathroom multiple times a day, or at least, like once or twice a day. That's probably not going to happen. Again, if you're eating a lot of rendered fats, then you're probably going to be going to the bathroom a lot, but that's because your body doesn't need to break down the foods, and it goes through your body so fast that, yes, animal fats are great, but if you're having a lot of like hot rendered fat, your body doesn't have time to absorb the nutrients from that fat, if that makes sense. If you're having a lot of melted fat, hot melted rendered fat, it just runs through your body. It does not give your body a chance to absorb that nutrition from that. So cold fats, hard fats, those are going to be much, much better for you overall. You're going to be able to grab a lot more of the nutrients from that, instead of just having your body get rid of it. But your bathroom habits will change. Some people have diarrhea a lot. Some people, they think they're constipated, but they're not. You just don't have as much waste to get rid of on the carnivore diet when you're doing it correctly. So if you're severely bloated or very uncomfortable and you feel constipated, then that might, you probably are constipated if you feel like it, if you're very uncomfortable like that. But just if you up the fat, in most cases, if you up the fat, or if you want to go to the bath, if you want to try to clean your system out, then add a little bit more butter, or have a little bit of the the hotter rendered fats, and that should clean you out, and you should be good. Again, I'm not a professional, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. I'm not going to really address the high cholesterol. I've had people ask me, doesn't carnivore diet raises your cholesterol, your LDL cholesterol? Doesn't carnivore raise those levels? It can, and a lot of the times it does. But I'm going to link a video in the description box below. There's going to be a lot of videos down there. But there is a doctor who explains why this happens and that it's not a bad thing. It's not something to be scared of. It's not going to cause a heart attack. It's not going to make you have a heart attack. So I'm going to link that video down below because he explains it much, much better than I can. Something you need to make sure that you are doing is adding enough salt. You have to have salt in your diet, and that will taper, like the amount of salt that you need, that will go down the longer you're on this diet. But to begin with, because you're doing without so much other stuff to keep your body from, I guess, like, I don't know really how to explain it. Keep yourself from feeling horrible, increase your salt intake. I mean, obviously you've got to listen to your body. If you eat something you're like, oh, that's really salty, cut back. If you eat something and you're like, it doesn't taste salty at all, maybe add a little bit of salt. It's that part is pretty simple. But make sure, because along with the electrolytes, there's salt in the electrolytes, but you need extra salt sometimes. Some people do, to keep from getting like the headaches or feeling lethargic sometimes. Make sure you are eating enough. That is a big issue that I have had. I keep track of my calories using the Carb Manager app. And I really like that because they have like a carnivore setting on there, so you can it automatically calculates your calories for you. And I'm not using it, I'm not counting my calories, I'm not using this app to make sure I stay under a certain amount, but I'm using it to make sure that I go over a certain amount. There has been several days, if you're following me on Instagram or Facebook, you know, there's been a few days where I have not hit like that 1500 mark or 1700 mark, that 1700 calorie mark that I'm trying to hit. There's been a few days where I haven't hit it, and I don't feel very good on those days. I might even get all of my like 10,000 steps in, but I don't feel super great. So, or I might feel okay that day, but the next day is typically like where I'm like, ugh, I just don't feel good because I didn't have enough to eat the day before. So I keep track of my calories just to make sure that I am eating enough, because that is very important. A lot of times you might end up feeling sick to your stomach, or you might get kind of shaky. You might just not feel very good. You might be very tired. Make sure you are eating enough. Keep track of your calories if you feel like it. Again, only to make sure that you are eating enough. I would recommend getting at least 1,200 calories, depending on your body type. But for most people, minimum of 1,200 calories per day, and that's going to help you. That's going to give you the energy. Eat until you're full. This is not a calorie restrictive diet. This is not a lose weight fast, a weight loss program. The carnivore diet it's a lifestyle change for the most part. Even if you only commit like the 90 days to it, it's a pretty big change. But the thing I love most about the carnivore diet, aside from anything else, is that it is not a restrictive diet. Like, yes, you're restricted on what you can eat, but not on how much you can eat. I can eat until I am so incredibly full, and then a few hours later, if I'm hungry, I can eat again until I am so incredibly full that I can't fit anything else into my mouth. So it's such an incredible diet, because you don't ever have to be hungry on the diet. A lot of people will go down to 2 meals a day or 1 meal a day, simply because you do stay full longer, you stay satiated longer. But basically at every meal, every time you eat, just eat until you're full. Eat as much as you want. Eat until you're full. Focus on more so like healing your body. And even if you're eating a lot, some people gain weight if they're eating like loads and loads and loads of food. But for the most part, people are going to at least lose a little bit of weight, because you're cutting out all carbohydrates. You're cutting out sugar, you're cutting out all the carbohydrates. You're burning more fat, because fat and protein is all you're giving your body. And it's going to eat the fat before it eats the protein. So chances are, even if you're still eating quite a bit, you're going to lose weight. So just stick with it. Make sure that you are eating enough, because that is such a huge thing, is making sure that you're eating enough. You can still have coffee if you want. There's some people that are against it. I have coffee every single morning with like 2 egg yolks and 2 tablespoons of butter in it. In about 12 ounces of coffee, I think there's like 4 carbohydrates in in 12 ounces of coffee. I think that's correct. So if you're like a big stickler on, you know, 0 carbs, then maybe skip the coffee. But for the most part, coffee is fine. I don't typically do more than 1 cup, just because it is a diuretic, and if you're already having a lot of fat in your diet, having the coffee on top of it can cause some diarrhea also. So maybe just stick with like 1 cup or something. Again, listen to your body. The carnivore diet it's very big on like listening to your body. If you're hungry, eat. If you got a headache, your body's telling you, I need more electrolytes. If you're super lethargic, you need to probably eat more, especially more fat. Again, because fat is where your energy is coming from. The protein is going to keep you full for longer, but the fat is where your energy is coming from. So if you're super lethargic, eat more fat. If there's any other questions you guys have, let me know in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. If I don't have the answer, I will try to find the answer for you and steer you in the right direction. But overall, I hope that this was some good information for you. I hope this helps you to understand the carnivore diet a little bit better, and kind of the butter is okay to eat. You're not going to die if you don't have fruits and vegetables. I'm not going to get scurvy because I'm not having fruits and vegetables. Fine. I hope this was a help to you guys, and please, I guess, like and subscribe, because this is YouTube and we're supposed to say that. So like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram or my Facebook page for daily updates for food, and if I reach my step goal. I am going to be sharing some more recipes on here off and on as I come across the recipes. I have a pizza crust recipe that I came across that is phenomenal. It's a carnivore pizza crust. It is very, very good. I found a couple recipes for like carnivore tortillas and things that we're going to try. So yeah, stay tuned, and I'll see you next time. Bye.